Can you see an Excel sheet?
Yeah, I see the Excel sheet.
Okay, that's good. There are some. Okay, let me start with ERP. In 1995, a team of three people have started PeopleSoft, and it was David Duffel, the person who first started uh, the concept of HCM related to PeopleSoft. So already the same concept was in SAP as well as in Oracle. So this person, he thought like, why don't we do it application when compared to SAP and Oracle. Then he started working on a few, he did some research on few companies where they have the HR related issues, and he used to take up like he used to do a research on that, how an employee is hired in a company and what is his benefits and his payroll, how it will be done. So like that he started on HCM. In 97 they released a full version of HCM and as well as finance, two versions, and it started a big hit in the market because we can able to install PeopleSoft on any platform, and it is a light application. It's easy to install and it is able to connect to different databases, whether it's Oracle, MS SQL Server or MS Access, DB2. So when compared to Oracle, the main advantage is it can able to connect to any of the databases. It became a competitor for Oracle after 2002. So till that time HCM was ruling, and they said like HCM, they had a very good application compared to any other ERPs. But in ERP market, if you see the entire market capture, you have 55% of SAP applications and 20% of Oracle, 11% of PeopleSoft. And when you compare with PeopleSoft, we have SAP, they also have HCM, finance, CRM, sales and distribution, manufacturing modules. In, in Oracle also, they also have the similar modules, but when you say about SAP, they say it's big hit for manufacturing. When you say PeopleSoft, HR, Oracle, financials, Siebel, CRM. So like that, every ERP is good in one particular module. So like that, PeopleSoft is good in HR till 2002. So later, PeopleSoft has applied many uh, bundles and applications on finance. Earlier, they just thought, okay, it's just in finance AP, AR, GL modules. So later, they come up with many sub modules with a good functionality. And later, it also became a hit, and both modules are doing very good in the market. So why people prefer PeopleSoft? It's because the licenses are very cheap when you compare to SAP and Oracle. And the renewal part and the customization. If you talk about any ERP, they have limitations in doing the customization. If you say SAP, he will say, no, this page or this field, it is derived from SAP. You can't do any customization. It's all derived from SAP software. So there is a limitation. But in PeopleSoft, there is no limitation. You can customize any field at any level. You can modify the entire page. You can redesign. So that's another advantage in PeopleSoft. So clients started using HCM and they find it's easy and they have more functionality and lightweight applications. So that's how the PeopleSoft has started and pick up in the market. In 2005, when it has a very good market, Oracle has bought PeopleSoft. Before PeopleSoft buying Oracle, Oracle bought PeopleSoft. PeopleSoft thought if they buy JD Edwards, so it has a good finance modules, and it became very strong ERP in the market, competition for SAP and Oracle. So they bought JD Edwards in 2003 ending. So then Oracle thought PeopleSoft might be a big competitor, and they start bidding for PeopleSoft, and finally they bought it. So after that, At that time, the version was 9.0. So after that, PeopleSoft has bought, Oracle has bought PeopleSoft. Two more versions have released. It's 9.1 and 9.2. So there's a lot of changes when you see the look and feel of the application. But the core functionality is the same. In 9, after 9.0, it is the same. But the screens, the structure, the navigation, those things have changed. And they have enhanced new applications and new modules in this 9.2. Why I am explaining this? Because when you talk about 9.2 or 9.1, the core functionality is same. The navigations here and there, it might vary, but the functionality is same. So you no need to worry about how it looks and this the different application looks. It's similar, but little bit added new functionality. That's it. And when you come to finance, the core finance, it has three different modules: account payables, account receivables, and GL. That was a core functionality in PeopleSoft. So coming to your part, you said like it was a procurement and to payables. So any company, why they want to go for ERP? Basically, if they cannot handle their current finance accounts, they can go for any ERP. Otherwise, we have small ERPs called Microsoft Dynamics, Tally, Ramco. So many small applications are there. That's only for small business. If you talk about big organizations, whether in India or Europe, if you want to uh, start new business in different countries other than US, then ERP is required. So when the count grows, whether it's human being, the count, or the number of accounts or the transactions per day, so automatically any vendor or any customer, they start moving to ERPs. So they feel like, okay, we have 500 people in this company, which ERP is best suited? So then they start looking out the cost. Based on the cost, if you look at it, it's PeopleSoft comes in the first, and then the Oracle and other softwares. So like that, they segregate and they start installing our application into their organization. Then they say, okay, which modules have to be implemented. So we have a lot of um, modules in finance as well as supply chain management, HR, CRM, but based on the company requirement, they start applying very few modules, the installation part. At the same time, while they're installing, they need to buy the license for each module. If you say procurement, so procure to pay, your company might be using procurement, but some other company, they want the entire cycle, procure to pay. So in this, we have procurement, purchasing, and payables. Three modules comes into picture. Some companies, they say we have payables with SAP, and we want to use procurement and purchasing with PeopleSoft. So in that case, there will be integration with other ERP where you transfer all your requisitions or purchase orders and push into SAP. So from there, the processing will start in SAP. So it
Question,
depends.
Karan.
Yeah.
You said something about procure to pay, right? Procure to pay, is it a module or is it just a generic name which consists of procurement purchasing modules?
It's a generic term.
Okay.
Okay, it's not a specific module. So in this, you have three modules: procurement, that is e-procurement, purchasing, and payables. You have
Again,
three things.
payables is like accounts payables or what is this, or is it a generic term again?
No, it is a module, account payables.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So these three are the core in procure to pay. If you go to SAP also, they have the same modules. In Oracle, same module, but the naming convention might be, it may be payables or account payables. So there won't be any confusion if you move to any ERP here other than PeopleSoft. So the okay, coming back to procurement, you have one more cycle, order to cash. So in which you have the billing, account receivables. So you do billing for your products and then you receive it. Here you have only payables. So you procure something and then you pay for that. So these two are the major cycles in any ERP. But in SAP, they are more inclined towards sales and distribution as well as material management. So material management is nothing but procure to pay in PeopleSoft. It's similar. Only the functionality differs, the pages, the screens differs. Okay. And coming back to our procurement, so I'll just show you how the PeopleSoft screen looks. Okay, have you seen the PeopleSoft screen before?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 times, that's it.
Okay, so this is the web browser we have, and if you notice here, this is people SO82A603. So this is the URL for this. In this, you have employee ERP. So the total URL consists of a page, a component related to a specific page. So if you want, you can modify here. This is logout, right? If I say login, you almost get the same page. So the default password and username for finance, it is VP1 and VP1. If you go for HCM, it is PS. That's for
Okay.
any demo PeopleSoft version, any versions, right, from 7.5 till now you have 9.2. So almost like 8 to 9 versions came out. And in this, few versions are very solid and they don't have many bugs here. The first version started from 6 and then latest it was 7.5, 8.4 and the 8.8 and 9.0. So 9.0 was the uh, solid version which was built, and after that 9.2, those are the enhancements of 9.1. So if they say anything other than 9.3 or 9.4, so that will be an enhancement to the existing one, but the core version is 9.0. They
Okay.
built on this. Okay, let me log in. Just you'll have the look and feel. This is 9.1. You have the main menu. Okay, so you have all the modules listed here. You can check your procurement. So it's a demo version and they have all the modules and with all the license. So you can see so many modules here, but in real time application you can't see all the modules. Only you have some 5 or 6 modules implemented, and that too if you are a developer or in a particular department. So there you will have very less access, and the procurement manager will have little more access compared to what you are seeing, and few pages are hidden for particular user. It all user profile based. If you say okay, you have the access only to create a requisition, so your access is restricted to create and send the requisition, but your manager can able to see your requisition and able to modify and then approve it. So he has 3 levels. So for you it's only 1 level. So like that in the entire department he could able to see all the requisitions and do the budget check and can able to approve or reverse back any requisition. So it's all security based in PeopleSoft. Sometimes you feel you are not able to see any page or any screen, so then you should immediately think okay, some security is having some issue or
Oh,
your ID is having some problem with the security, so it is restricted. Then you need to send a request to your manager to see that page. And on the home page what you see, just a home button, you have work list, add to favorites, sign out. So work list, if you just click on, you can see the list of requisitions pending from your side.
So this
Okay.
is the demo version you are using, right?
Yes.
So when you
Demo will
load the
have,
demo version, does it come with some sample data or you need to create everything from the scratch?
no, it will have sample data, and
Okay.
anyway we'll create some sample data also, because whatever is there you can see it, but if I create something you can able to test it, and you also can able to create few requisitions or few purchase orders.
Okay.
So you can play around here, there is no issue. So,
What is the difference between a function, what are the roles of a functional consultant versus a technical consultant in the ERP world?
okay, um, when you say about a functional person, just now I showed VP1 is the axis and you got into this, but as a technical person he can able to see the screen, he knows what is behind the screen. I'll just show you this. Okay, I just put Control J. You can see here the browser version, the operating system, browser compressed, tools release 8.5, application is financial supply chain 9.1. You have the page name, work list, component name, work list, menu. So these three things are required for a technical person. As a functional person, you don't need to worry about this. So if I want to modify anything on this page, then I should know what is the page name, what is the component, what is the menu here. So functional person doesn't need to know all the background processes or the background technical stuff happening behind the page in any ERP. In PeopleSoft, it is not like that. It is little different. You can't completely say I am a technical person or I am a functional person. I am using this page, but I should able to know what is happening behind this. In SAP it is different because they have separate role. Functional is not mixed with technical here. PeopleSoft you have techno-functional. If he says he's a functional guy, it's good, but a functional guy will become only after having all the technical knowledge, and then he moves into functional. But people who are with a finance background or CA, chartered account background, they can be a good functional consultant. They don't need about the technical stuff or the coding behind this page. So if you are a procurement person, you should directly log in and do the screen share and start working on the pages directly. If you say, I'll just show this, you have this priority and the link, what you're seeing here, right? So you want to interchange this priority to the left and link to the right. This can be done by a technical person, not as a functional person. You can't modify this page. Only you can enter the data, do some transactions on this page. So that's a difference in PeopleSoft. In SAP, you call SAP functional consultant, MM consultant, PP consultant. PeopleSoft, you hardly have functional consultant. If you say 100 posts for technical or techno-functional, you have very 10% as a functional consultant. So it's more techno-functional, I can say.
Okay, got it.
Okay. And in Oracle also you have separate functional consultants. So that's where many people who doesn't have technical knowledge also can become functional consultant. But here you should know at least PS query, at least writing a SQL. So that can be done through online itself without writing any code. Online drag and drop options you have, that I will show you. Okay. And this is basically a page. On this you have, this is a big time grid. All this is a big grid. This you have from date, the data is there. So for developing this page, a technical person should know what fields have to be placed on this page and what is the functionality behind this. If he knows, he can just place around and work on the code. Coming to functional person, you just come and enter the data and make sure the data is validated and sent to the next page or the tables in a proper way. So that validations you have to do from your side, saying that okay, this is the data you are expecting, and you have your own data where you can prepare your data. That also I'll show you. Okay, if I come here, you can see in the main menu you have customers, you have partners, products. So all these are in the real time not required. If you say purchasing, you have so many sub options here. It's only one module, but you have a lot of options here. And coming to procurement, it's the same thing. So, and you have service procurement. Okay, I'll just show you the list of. Can you see my Excel sheet?
I can see, yeah, I can see your Excel sheet now.
Oh, okay. Is it visible, right? You can able to
Yes.
read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here, like first thing is we need to set up e-procurement. So before starting any module, you have the high-level business unit, the set ID, and what kind of business is running in your organization.
Okay, question for you before you finish. So you did a lot of implementations, right, at a lot of clients' places, the procurement
Yes.
and finance. So which one do you start with? Do you start with the procurement module first, or do you start with the GL and all that stuff, the finance stuff?
Finance stuff, GL very rarely will touch it. It will be done from their pure functional managers who define their business. We will be into the picture when they start their functional design. That means they design the business, saying that we have what is the name of the company? I'll just give an example. Your company.
I
Its
work
name.
for
I want to
Miami-Dade
know.
County, the local government, Miami-Dade County.
Okay, okay, Miami-Dade County, right? So it has a branches. Do they have any branches? I mean offices?
They have a departments, procurement
Okay, different.
department, finance department.
Okay, so if say for example you take the county as the set ID. Set ID means, or I'll give one more example. Say General Electrical, G is there. G is the company, and that is the set ID they have defined here. Say G. It's there in USA, and later they think, okay, I want to grow this business into different areas and different countries. Then they start implementing it Europe, Asia. So in Asia they come to India, Sri Lanka. In US they have here Canada also. And if you start about GE, it's a set ID. G is the high level set ID, and from this you define 4 different set IDs. One is Canada, one is USA, one is Europe, and Asia. So these are all set IDs. And if you talk about Asia, they will have different business units where exactly the manufacturing or the work is going on. It's not just a location. It's a work center where the output is coming from that work center. You'll call it as business center, business unit in PeopleSoft.
Okay. So
So
here
these are
you
the
call G as the set ID as well as the Canada, USA, Europe, Asia. Those are the top level, the second level, top level items. C1 you call them as a set ID.
correct. And at the same time, every set ID will create one business unit with the same name. Automatically it will create. If you say
Okay.
G, you create set ID. With G, there is one more business unit it creates in the system, and it will be there, but you will not be using. So at the same time, you have 4 more set IDs as well as business units. The high level picture I am giving. When you
Got
come to India, India also becomes a set ID. It depends on the situation. If you talk about India, I'll just delete it and I'll keep it Sri Lanka. In India, you have Bangalore below India. So India is a set ID for as well as business unit. Business unit, when it comes, if it is Asia, then Asia you have a business center India. Okay, this is high level. Asia is the high level, and next level is India. In this case, it becomes set ID, and in other scenario, it becomes business unit. This is simple logic, but if you just give some importance here, see, this is the main topic here. If you understand this part, and later the business becomes very simple. I'll just explain one more time.
Okay.
I'll just put it in some color when you understand. Okay. So the top level set ID is GE. Why you have set IDs and business unit in PeopleSoft? So any company, every day they want to see the business, whether we are under profits or losses. That's the business logic here. You start any company, name any company. So end of the day, the director or the CEO, he will come and say, I just want to see what's happening in India. Can you run a report? Then he will say, okay. He'll just enter India as the set ID, and then he'll say, I want to see Hyderabad branch. What is happening there? Whether there, how many employees are there, and how much we are paying, and what is the status. Then he will enter business unit as Hyderabad. Top level set ID, he will select GE, and under that Asia, India, then comes the Hyderabad. Hyderabad is the main business unit where exactly they are getting the work done. So if they run the report, they'll have Hyderabad details. And if he's interested only India, in that case, India becomes a business unit. Okay, you understand the difference here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's end of the day, loss or profit. And because of that, they have set up all this functionality here. So for any transaction, you have to have one set ID and one business unit. And what you are doing there, whether it's a purchase order, it's a procurement, or it's a supplier, vendor, whatever the transaction may be, they are least bothered, and they want to just see, okay, GE set ID, I want to run it. And they might be having one more set ID, maybe Ross stores. This is different entity. This is one more set ID, okay. So you have to define the set ID, the business units, before you start implementing anything in PeopleSoft. So these things are already defined in the company before any technical or a functional person enters into that. That will be done by the core finance and the management team. They decide how many business units, how many set IDs they want, and what is their business mode. Once these are all set up, then they start saying that, okay, how many modules will be having, the nature of business. I worked for Owens Corning, so that's a glass and fiber company. They have different branches all over the world. They have Japan, India, Sri Lanka, US, Europe also they have. So end of the day, they'll say, I want to check whether my Indian branch is under profit or loss. Run a report. Just they'll go and select the set ID, Asia, India, Hyderabad branch. So in this hierarchy, they start running, they'll have a report. And then on the India level also, they can run a report and see whether they have good profits or not. So for defining the business, they have set up this. And you want to group 2-3 business units and run a report. You have share share set IDs. So the sharing set ID. So under GE you have Canada, USA, Europe, Asia. So these four are on the same level. I mean countries. So they can share the set ID here. That I'll show you in the system how it can be set up and what can be done. Okay. For any business, this is a fundamental in PeopleSoft. A set ID and a business unit has to be defined and it should be set up properly. Once this is done, then we see how many modules we are implementing, and for each module you have to define the options and the definitions and the roles. Okay, I'll just show you here. Procurement. Okay, so here you have the setup: establishing system options, creating the business units, processing options for business units. So how do you process the business units? And then you create suppliers. So suppliers are the vendors. And procurement, there are each company will have different kind of business. Some companies, they manufacture them themselves and they have their own items. Some company, they buy few items from different third party and then assemble here, make a part, then they sell it. So that's one kind. And third type, they'll say, okay, you come and purchase the item from our website and then you can start selling from your site. So there are three different types. Before procurement, there is one more business logic here. You have contracts and you have RFPs. Some companies, they'll have contracts and they create a contract ID before the procurement. So based on the contract ID, once they create that, that will, based on ID, you start creating the requisitions in the procurement. So before procurement, you have two more things, that is request for quotation and contracts. So these are very rare, I mean, not a regular one, but rare scenarios. Some company, they implement this. They'll say, okay, I want request for quotation. When they take the quotations and start their business, then only they enter into procurement. Some companies say, okay, no, we have our own requisition, I have our own business, we'll start raising the requisition from our internal system. So it's three ways. One is contracts, one is RFQs, and one is a direct requisition.
Okay. Between the requisition and the contract, so you, if there is any,
and you select
okay,
that.
001 it might mean printer, 002 it might mean software, something
Yes,
like
correct.
that?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. It's same thing.
So
And
before
based
you
on,
start any purchasing or procurement, so the commodities are the first thing that you will load, right?
yes, and the setup for this, like it will be defined in the system before, like you check all the roles and all the items will be loaded, because the item, they'll have different department, so that is nowhere related to this approvals and all. So the
Yes.
items, yeah, that's a different department, and we are least bothered about that items details. Once you log in, you can see, you can able to see the list of items. That's it. Whatever may be the setup they have done. Only we are worried about the user roles, their profiles, their security. So
at our
enter.
place, so we have these commodity codes, and we have a set of buyers. So some
Yes.
set of buyers, they work with only some specific commodity codes.
Commodities, yes. And
So we can establish that relationship here, right, in the PeopleSoft?
yeah, that I'll tell you. Just coming there.
Okay.
And then processing the requisition. How do you process it? So they have based on the time, like they have quick requisition. That means you don't need to enter all the data for a requisition. Just the item name, the vendor name, and the date. that is sufficient in one scenario. Then it will automatically pick up some default uh, uh, field values, because for selecting the default values you need to set up the GL chart field account. So there will be account which is validated for a particular vendor and for particular item. So that I will tell you now itself. And you have different categories in the requisitions, and it's either you enter requisition manually or you get it from a flat file. Say you have a department where they do everything manually and put it in a file and send it to your requisition department, I mean e-procure department. In that case, so they have to load that text file or Excel sheet file into our system. So you have all the details of the item, then you have to load it. So that kind of integration, it happens, and there is application engine, component interface, that kind of background processes. It will run and it will load the items into our system. So that is one part. And manually you can just go and create a requisition. So there are different kinds. And then once you create any requisition and you have done the approvals, and then this will match what items you are entering and what is the supply here. And then here also you have the change requisition. That is like change request. You have transaction or any line item. If it doesn't map with the existing defined chart field combination, then you cannot able to save on a page or combination of accounts. So say I'll give an example of an item. If I want to purchase an item from a supermarket, so I'll just go there and I'll say, okay, I want to buy a toothpaste from Colgate, and the person will say,